In front of the camera today is the Seiko Slim Willard. Now, this is an example of Seiko listening to the consumer base, listening to the fans, so to speak. Many Seiko fans have been asking for smaller wearing divers from this brand, which traditionally has done very large, very bold, curvaceous cushion cases that push 44, 45, 49 millimeters in case diameter. And you know what? I love the larger watches. I'm a bigger guy. I have a larger wrist. I can absolutely wear these large, lovely divers from Seiko. But the thing about Seiko is they wear smaller than the dimensions indicate. So even when you have a huge watch on wrist, it doesn't really feel like a huge watch from another brand, if that makes sense. So Seiko, listening to the fans, listening to that kind of faction of an industry trend where people want smaller wearing watches, sub 40 millimeter wearing watches. This 41 millimeter, this Slim Willard, wears smaller. Like the large ones wear smaller, this one wears smaller too. So I would say this is more akin to a 40 mil or maybe a 39.5 mil on wrist, just from my own perspective. 46.9 is the lug to lug distance, 12.3 in overall height. So very trim, and I find that refreshing, especially for a Seiko watch that has 200 meters of water resistance. This has a 20 millimeter lug width and a lovely green Lume Pro infill for the hands and the markers, and that matches the black hard coating found on the case and the crown, the case back, and the bezel to a very pleasant degree. The reference is the SPB 335, and it is part of the Black Series, and it will be a limited edition. This is limited to 4,500 pieces and will be individually numbered on the case back. Now, Seiko calls this coating a black hard coating, and I have no specification on whether this is more akin to PVD, physical vapor deposition, or if it's more akin to DLC, diamond-like carbon coatings. I would imagine it's probably somewhere in between, but I've not been able to wear this on an extended basis to really give you some owner feedback. I will say, though, my father bought this exact watch, so perhaps in a few months I can come back to the comment section with an owner perspective update on how this is wearing. More on that in a minute. Let's get back to the details of this watch. This has a subtle orange peel texture, flat black dial. I find it very well executed, and I like how the silver printing pops off of that black plane. Note how dimensional the Seiko logo is. And I also like the fact that there's a blackout day wheel between the 4 and the 5 o'clock applied markers. I know some of you will absolutely hate this date placement, but you know what? I'm not in that camp. I don't mind whether a watch has a date at the 3, a little bit more traditional, or placed at the 6, which seems to be more of a modern trend, or I don't mind if it's at the 4:30 as long as the design is clean and balanced and well laid out. So I find that to be true here with this specific SPB 335. I do enjoy the pencil style beveled hands that have a bi-finish, so you will note different reflections coming off of the polishing and the satinization depending on the angle that you're viewing the watch at. All of this is visible under a curved sapphire crystal that carries inner applied anti-reflective treatment. The aluminum bezel insert is likewise very well executed. I like the white indexing when it comes to the dive bezel. I like the gray out color up to the 20 index. And I really enjoy the way this watch wears on the Seiko nickname Nato. Now, those of you that have watched my channel for years, you will recognize this strap most likely. This is the Seiko nickname Nato. It's a Nato strap that I designed for Seiko watches about 5, maybe 6 years ago. It's been a little while. And when this first came out, I partnered with Wrist Candy Watch Club to produce these straps in limited batches. When it first came out, I sent some to friends, I sent some to family, I sent one to my father, and ever since that date, he has been looking for a specific Seiko watch that he felt would perfectly pair with the strap. And you know what? It's been all these, several years, but he finally found the perfect watch, and that is this Slim Willard, this Black Series limited edition with a Lume Pro color. And I've got to say that Lume matches the Midori green of the Seiko Nato to a perfect degree. And then I like the fact how, the black coating of the case matches the black on the icons or the nicknames on this strap. I think the only way this could be a more perfect or fitting pairing was if there was a nickname that represented this watch on the strap. The turtle, I think, comes closest because this specific watch, this Slim Willard, pays modern homage to the 8009, which eventually evolved into the 8110, which eventually evolved into the 6309, which eventually the turtle reissue remade back in the mid-2010s. So the turtle, I think, comes closest. One could, accurately say that this watch is the grandfather of the turtle depicted on the Seiko Nato. So I'd like to ask one question in closing here. Have you ever done what my father did with this watch? Have you ever bought a watch for a specific strap? Mostly we do it the other way around. We buy a watch and then we look for the perfect strap. But I know a couple crazy watch collectors who have a favorite strap or a really nice strap or a very unique strap, and then they search for the perfect watch head to pair with the strap. I'm curious how many of you watching this video have had a similar experience. Thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. And Dad, if you're watching this video, I think you got a great watch and I love you. I'm proud to be your son. Thank you for everything you've done for me.